Hello, everybody.
Hi.
Welcome to SoulSpace Podcast number 161.
Welcome.
Yay. I was just thinking last night, boy, it's been over 2 years, I think.
Yeah.
Yeah,
Soul spacing.
yeah,
Whoop,
it's
whoop,
awesome.
whoop, whoop.
All right, so today we're going to stay with our theme of facing our shadows. And today we're going to talk about anxiety.
Let's talk about anxiety.
Yeah, let's.
Many of us have it, and it shows up in our lives in so many different ways, and ways you might not even realize is the emotion anxiety, right?
Right. Yeah. Yeah. And I know it's something I've lived with my whole life.
Yep.
And I didn't really know that that's what it was. I thought it was just shy. I thought it was shyness holding me back from everything.
Right.
And really, now that I know what I know, it's anxiety.
Yeah.
That's what it was. Yeah.
We both have had growth through that
Right.
emotion through our entire lives.
Yeah.
And we know many of the people who watch us have the same kind of thing happening.
Yeah. Yeah.
And, even if you don't realize that anxiety, which is really fear at its root, is part of something, like think about this, like different ways that it could show up, right?
Yeah.
Like
Yeah.
as a blocker barrier, as saying
overwhelmment.
Yeah, overwhelmment is a huge one. People just feel like I'm so overwhelmed. That's based in fear, which is anxiety.
Right.
Anxiety is fear.
Mm-hmm.
And like it can be like, why can't I get past this one thing? Or why do I not feel good enough? Or,
Right.
it can show up in so many different ways
Yeah.
and kind of create blocks and barriers you don't expect in your life if you don't learn to deal with, cope with, release, and move forward from those feelings of anxiety. If you stuff them
Mm-hmm.
down, it can become more and more and more of an issue and even become physical issues, as we know.
Yeah.
So it's just kind of something to think about. We're going to talk about it today.
Yeah. Yeah. Yeah, it's a good thing to talk about and something that should really be addressed when you're young because a lot of kids have anxiety and they don't realize what it is,
Right. They
And
get tummy aches or
right.
they just don't feel right or they get
Yeah.
headaches or, you know, like test anxiety is a real thing with kids when they're in
Yeah.
school. It's something
Yeah.
I dealt with
Mm-hmm.
horribly,
Yeah.
and that expands as you get older. So
It
think
sure
about that. Like
does. Yeah.
test anxiety turns into like unbearable anxiety for job interviews,
Mm-hmm.
for meeting new people, for social
Yeah.
interactions, for,
Yeah.
it kind of expands as we get older if we
Yeah.
don't know how to deal with it or aren't able to deal with it when we're
Right.
younger. And so a lot of us as adults have it manifesting in our lives in so many
Mm-hmm.
different ways that we don't even realize that that might be the root.
Yeah.
Or
Yeah.
maybe we do, but
Yeah.
we don't know how to deal with it.
Right. And if you don't stay on top of it, it can come back in a surge. Like I remember after COVID was over, I had to start from way back when I lost a lot of traction having to stay home more and not doing things that I was normally doing outside of the home. And I was never afraid to go on camera or do stuff like that. And I did a lot of videos during COVID for my work, and but then when it came back to stepping out into the real world again, it was hard. I had to do a lot of work again that I had already done that really kind of pissed me off because I didn't notice it was happening,
Yeah.
I didn't notice that I wasn't keeping on top of that. And we were so used to not looking at anyone in the face again,
Yeah.
and not looking at anyone and wearing a mask and all the crap that went along with that. And it really set my anxiety back a long ways. I don't know if you noticed that or not, but
Yeah. But also think about this, sometimes like you said, change can
yeah.
trigger some of those old feelings.
Mhm.
And then what's good though is if we can recognize them, we
Yeah.
recognize where we're at, we know that we can begin moving forward from them again and finding the way using our tools.
Right.
And that's what you did is you didn't say, okay, I'm just too anxious to go outside. I'm not going to go outside
Yeah.
anymore.
No.
You're like, okay, this is not how I want to live my life.
No.
I'm going to go outside and see people and do all the things
Right. Yeah.
again.
Yeah.
So what are the things that I need to do to make that possible for myself? And so it's about, that resiliency piece too, that we build through using our tools every single day, through getting used to doing that. And through, like the freedom release method that we use to help us to release those feelings and thoughts of anxiety throughout the day. The tapping, which is an unbelievable tool for when you have strong feelings, right? Anxiety, especially. I mean, they have a whole, grouping of tapping on this anxiety itself.
Yeah, and even breathing, taking a few deep breaths, that really helps you get through in the moment where you can start to recognize, oh, it's just my anxiety flaring up again, or, whatever you call it for yourself. But you can just take a couple deep breaths and that will help immediately, or look forward, or look up, different things like that, easy, that you can do on the fly,
right?
So
Going for a quick walk, like calming your body's autonomic nervous system with the breathing techniques,
right,
with taking a walk, with moving, with shaking your body out, grounding, doing a quick meditation, different things that help to regulate the body so that you can get right into the right frame of mind to regulate your mind after that.
Because sometimes people get it so bad that they're in the moment and they can't grasp that calm at all.
Right. They go literally into fight or flight.
Yeah.
Which is why the autonomic nervous system techniques are so important to do first for those people.
Yeah.
Us included, when we get way up there, right?
Yeah. And people sometimes need medication to help them get through it. And it's not always okay, I got to be on this for the rest of my life. If you can get through that rough spot in your life, a lot of times you can get off the medication, or
right. Sometimes it can help calm the nervous system until you can deal with the root causes of that, those feelings. And once you're done with those root causes of those feelings and release those different things that may have caused that, then sometimes people can get off of medications and things like that, or even change what they're doing.
And when you get back into a better routine and using the tools again, or learning new tools to use, then you can wean yourself off and do it on your own. It's possible for many, some not, but that's okay. Just so you get help with it is really what you need.
Because if you can get better, then it can get better than that, and then it can get better than that. It helps you to build momentum, to use the different tools that are available to you. And that's the thing, is about stopping the momentum in the negative direction and pivoting, getting it moving in the positive direction again, so then you can get into a space that feels better. And a little bit better, and a little bit better, and a little bit better. That's what momentum is, right? We're going uphill, downhill.
And it feels so good. It feels so good once you realize, okay, I can control this. It's, I know what I can do. If you learn some tools and use them, you can start to realize, oh, I can do this. I have this tool I can use right now to get myself through this.
And practicing those things when you're not feeling strong emotions helps you to be able to just use them in the moment. They become almost automatic. It's like, okay, if you are a Reiki practitioner like us, we can do Reiki on ourselves. We don't really have to think about it. It's something that almost automatically happens if you're feeling stressed.
It does.
And that's one thing. Or, tapping, if you're used to tapping, then you know exactly what to do. You don't really have to think about it. If you do freedom release method, what thoughts are going through your mind. You can just pull out your freedom release method that tells you, what to say to yourself, and just do on those thoughts that are popping up as they come up, right? It's easy to do. You have it right there. It's available to you. One method I was thinking about that we haven't really talked about too much is also the pendulum method. To release those negative emotions and that imbalance. So you don't have to even think about it. Use the pendulum, like we did with that alignment episode a few episodes ago.
That's really good. I just did that the other day with a relative. They were having trouble in their home. The kids were always crabby and they were just acting different, and figured out that what the cause was, and it just lifted the whole energy of the place just by using the pendulum and some essential oils, and it was their anxiety, part of it was causing it, and they know that, and know that how to control their anxiety now from before, from other stuff. But once they realized, it was kind of a domino effect creating that chaos. So yeah.
Makes sense. And then essential oils, that's a great one too, that you can just grab on the fly when you need something. Like lavender is super calming.
Right.
Bergamot is wonderful. It's uplifting and calming at the same time.
Yeah.
There's so many different things you can do.
Yeah. Yeah. I use oils every day for one thing or another or everything. Yeah, it's they're so good, and my whole family knows. Okay, what oil do I use for this? Mom, what do I use? Yeah, so
you get texts from me sometimes too.
Yeah, yeah.
Tracy, what oil is good for these things?
Yeah, yeah, they're always good. I never go anywhere without any. So yeah, yeah, so anxiety is a huge topic, and we could go on and on about different things, but we want to talk about what, when it's keeping you from doing the things you want to do, or moving forward in your business, say, or in a goal that you have. What can we do to get us out of that? Or how can we work with our tools to help us get moving forward again, so it's not holding us back, because we have to work through it in order to do that. And that's kind of I know today when I was researching for our podcast, the book, The Shadow, I think I put it back in my backpack, Debbie Ford's book. Anyway, I can't think of the name, but Working with Your Shadow Self or something, talked about facing what those anxieties are, what your excuses are, like Wayne Dyer says, or Esther and Jerry Hicks or Abraham talks about it too, that anxiety, and it's not always described as anxiety, but that's what they mean. So how we can get through that and help ourselves get through that. So you found a place in a book that will be good.
I did.
To talk about that.
And when you were talking about that, it reminded me one thing that I was thinking about that kind of triggered this, is that a lot of times anxiety shows up for us as procrastination.
Yeah.
As that something that's just holding us from really moving forward, like you said. That procrastination piece of it is a lot of times anxiety, which is fear. And like, I'm not going to be able to do it perfect, or I'm not going to have all the time to finish it all today, or so then you procrastinate, or I don't want to do it. That's that fear coming up.
Right.
That's an anxiety coming up, even if it's not a name in motion you can name at that moment.
Right.
That's usually what procrastination is. It's that overwhelmment. It's that anxiety. It's that fear.
Yeah.
And that was one thing that kind of triggered the thought process for me on this topic the other day.
Yeah, I noticed last week the overwhelm or procrastination was getting to me, and I've been using Mind Trainer, of course, on that, but just getting over that anxiety, and that knowing that, facing that, naming it, and knowing that that's what it is, I've gotten some things done that I have been procrastinating on for months. Wow. And it's like, how dumb is that? I did, I mean, a simple thing like getting my URL for a website that I want to make, and I wanted to make it forever. And, I finally bought the URL the other day, and I'm like, oh, that was so stupid. Why did I put that off?
It took me 5 minutes. Like, what was I worried about?
And the only reason was I was procrastinating because I knew if I had that, then I have to continue. Well, so what? You want it on there.
You want to continue.
It, yeah. But, you find excuses not to do it.
Right.
And Yeah, that's one of my huge things is letting my anxiety keep me from success. I think,
Yeah.
it's that fear of success, that
Yeah.
anxiety about it. Then what if, what if?
Yeah.
Yeah,
Right.
yeah,
Classic overthinking, right?
right.
But that's rooted in
Yeah.
anxiety.
Hey, let me overthink
And
that.
how many
Right.
people are watching this that like, oh my gosh,
Yeah,
that's me?
yeah,
Because when you're talking about it, like, oh my gosh, that's me.
yeah,
But
yeah.
we're keeping getting better, but at the same time, it's like we
Right.
still have some of those
Yeah,
things.
yeah. And I'm sure everybody has it to a point,
Oh, yeah,
on some
absolutely.
things.
On
And
some
it might
subject.
not be in your business, it might be in your health or, decluttering or whatever. There's so many different ways that it shows up in your life,
Yeah.
and it's different for everybody. So,
Yeah, but
yeah.
that's a really pertinent example that a lot of us can relate to.
Yeah, yeah. I'm glad I'm not the only one.
You are not the only one.
No, I know.
But you know what? If you can begin to recover from that, recognize it and begin to move forward from it,
Yeah,
the rest of us can too. And
right.
that's also something that gives us all that little bit of hope to like, okay, she did it. I
Hmm.
can do it too. And
Yeah,
you can also give yourself permission
right.
to not be stuck like that,
Yeah,
right?
yeah, for sure.
It's not fun.
Mm.
Nobody likes to be stuck.
No.
That feeling of stuckness a lot of time is rooted in that same feeling.
Yeah.
Yeah. So I did find something that I thought many people who've been watching us for a while would find interesting because one of our main topics that we talk about is the law of attraction
Yeah.
and how to apply it to different areas of our lives and digging into that. So obviously, Esther and Jerry Hicks, the teaching of Abraham is something that we talk about a lot.
Yeah.
So I have the Astonishing Power of Emotions, Let Your Feelings Be Your Guide today. Great book. I mean, this is one that isn't talked about a lot but is just fantastic. What I love about it is that it talks about a lot of things, but then goes into examples. Examples are
Yeah.
they teach.
Stories teach for sure.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And it really helps because it goes on specific topics that are little sound bites that you can use in your daily life. So if you do have this book by some happy circumstance, um, we are on example 27 on page 203. And it's called Now That I Know About the Law of Attraction, My Thoughts Worry Me. How many of us have been there where we're like, oh my gosh, what thought train am I going down right now? And what
Right.
am I attracting in this moment? And you're like,
Yeah.
kind of freak yourself out. Then you're worried about your own thoughts. And so then you're having worried thoughts. And then it's
Yeah.
like, you're like, where are we going with this, self?
And you're on the anxiety bus again.
You're on the anxiety bus and we all want to get off.
Right. Yeah.
All right. So the example is I'm having a hard time controlling my thoughts. And that really worries me now that I know that I'm attracting to me the essence of whatever it is that I'm thinking about. I think I was happier before I knew about the law of attraction because now my thoughts scare me. Sometimes I find myself thinking about something really awful, and then I worry that just because I was thinking about it, it's going to happen. It is very good when you are aware that your thoughts are scaring you because it means that you can feel the results of your own guidance system. In other words, when you feel fear, it means that your in this moment thought is contrary to the thoughts of your inner being is having on the subject. So, when you think about bad things happening, it is logical that your inner being would not join you in those kinds of thoughts. And so they're talking about your inner being, which is your higher self, your soul
Mhm.
self, the self that is always connected to the source of all that is.
Yeah. Yeah.
The very emotion of fear that you are describing is only your guidance system letting you know that you are thinking an upstream thought of resistance. Fear does not mean that something bad is going to happen immediately, but it does mean that this is an upstream thought. If you remain pointed upstream long enough, you could deprive yourself of the well being that is natural. But it need not take you long to get into the habit of thinking downstream thoughts. With a little bit of practice, you will discover how easy it is to let go of those oars of resistance. And when you consistently release your feelings of fear by deliberately directing your thoughts, it will not be possible for bad things to occur in your experience. I think this is a really good point in that Worry is thinking about things that haven't happened yet.
Right.
And imagining things that haven't happened.
Mhm.
And imagining things that could never happen.
Right.
And like catastrophizing basically is usually
Yeah.
what worry is.
Yeah.
And so that's what they're saying upstream. So you're thinking ahead.
Yeah.
And then when they're saying thinking downstream, you're thinking about being right in the now. You're thinking about the good things that could happen. You're thinking about, I'm so enjoying this moment.
Yeah.
That's more of like downstream thoughts.
Yeah.
Upstream means resistance.
Right.
Downstream means going with the flow.
Yeah. And I love how they talk about, 99% of the things you worry about couldn't even possibly happen.
Right.
And we still drum that up, and if we can catch ourselves and think of a different thought right away,
Pivoting,
and that can really help us. And it's just practice, like we talk about all the time, switching those thoughts around as soon as we notice that it's happening, and take a breath.
Right. Because thinking those negative thoughts and those thoughts of worry and all the bad things that could happen, that's like trying to row your oars upstream against the current. And that's why they're talking about upstream.
Yeah.
But when you're thinking positive thoughts that feel good, you're feeling really nice, you're just floating downstream.
Yeah. Yeah, you're going with the flow instead of trying to push that rope up. Right. It's not going to work.
Yeah. You're either creating resistance to what you want or you're going in the flow of what you want.
Right.
And that's where that's why your emotions tell you where you're at in those thoughts and how you're feeling. What vibration am I putting out with these thoughts? Is it what I want or what I don't want? And that's one of the things that we will beat the drum of forever.
Right.
Is in any given moment, your body will tell you where you're at.
It'll feel light or heavy.
Yeah. It'll feel good or bad.
Or out.
Yeah, you'll feel like this or you'll feel comfortable. Yeah.
If you start paying attention to your body, you can tell a lot, and you notice it right away once you get in practice.
Yeah, you're like, oh my gosh. I can't believe how tense my shoulders are right now.
Yeah.
I can't even stand that. Why am I doing that? Let's not do this tonight.
No. Let's give that up.
But one thing that I like is it says, when you consistently release your feelings of fear by deliberately directing your thoughts, it will not be possible for bad things to happen in your experience. And that's because it's like, if you're only focused on what you do want and your vibration is consistently there and only there, that's the only things that can come into your experience. Those are the things that are being attracted into your experience. Yeah. There might be things happening on the periphery that have nothing to do with you that might not be preferred. Yeah. But in your own personal experience, it will continually be better and better and better. Yeah. And you will continue to draw the good things and the good opportunities towards you once you stay in that vibe for a while. Even though little bumps might come, you can get over those, and usually they happen for a reason to keep you on track. Yeah. Really, there's no accidents in that. Yeah, usually it creates more clarity in the direction that you want to go. Yeah. Yeah. To be honest. Yeah, it does. And you might not see it at the moment, but later you're like, oh, I get it. I see why that happened. That's why that happened. We might have a video short about that to put out soon. Right. Yeah. Yeah. I love it. So, this is going to be another one paragraph holds so much good stuff. As you are consistently feeling good and flowing toward the things you desire, those close to you will be influenced by your example until it is possible that you could positively influence your children, your mate, your parents, your siblings, and your friends to more positive, deliberate creation. We do not want you to be afraid of fear. We do want you to understand it and benefit by the guidance that it offers you. Fear simply means that you are pointed upstream, and we want you to understand that you have to point upstream for a significant time with great consistency before you disallow your well-being to the point of a truly negative creation. And even if a negative thing does occur, you have the ability to regroup, get refocused, and create differently the next time. Every moment is a new moment, and it's a new
Yeah.
opportunity, and it's a bouncing off place to where you want to go.
Mhm.
But you have to see it that way.
Right. Yeah, for sure. Don't think just because you have one bad thought, you're all of a sudden turned down the
Oh my
wrong
gosh, could you
road.
imagine that if all of our thoughts immediately turn to things,
Right.
we would all be totally screwed because our
Yeah.
thoughts are here and there and here and there and here
Yeah.
and there. So they give us some lag time
Thank God.
to deal
Yeah.
with the thoughts and
Right.
to really be pointing them in one general direction or
Yeah.
another. So
Yeah.
it's not about every single thought.
No.
It's about what direction are they moving and are you
Yeah.
noticing that?
What is your vibe throughout the day? Are you feeling good or feeling bad?
Mhm.
You know, it changed that main feeling, and then you're on the right track a
Right.
lot easier.
Right. Right.
Yeah.
It's all about just, being gentle with yourself and catching it as early as you can
Yeah.
and using that moment to realize where you're at, where you want to be and pivot towards back where you want to be.
Right. Yeah.
That's really the thing. And that's the practice.
Mhm.
It's like, okay, am I feeling good? Am I feeling bad? Where am I at emotionally? Am I where I want to be or not? And if I'm not, all right, it's time to just gently pivot and start moving the other direction.
Yeah.
It's one of those things that if we do, the more ease we put on it, the easier it is.
Yeah. Yeah.
Don't make it be hard. Let it be easy. You don't have to do it a whole elaborate
Yeah.
ritual to feel better.
Yeah.
All you have to do is put on some music.
Mhm.
Or, go to the bathroom, watch a quick video that makes you giggle.
Yeah.
Or, call a friend.
Yeah.
Or go for a quick walk.
Yeah.
Or go get a snack. I don't know.
Mhm.
Whatever
Yeah.
it is that makes you
Yeah.
a little bit better.
It can be easy, and that's when it's not, that's our anxiety telling us, oh, life can't be easy. Life has to be hard. Blah,
Blah, blah, blah.
Yeah. Yeah. Wah, wah.
Wah, wah, wah. Yeah, like Charlie
Brown's teachers talking. Yeah. So we know that we don't have to listen to those thoughts, and we can change them up, and we can say, no, no, mind. I
Right.
don't want to talk. I don't want to talk to myself like that anymore.
Thank you, mind. I
Yeah.
love and appreciate you.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would like you to focus on,
The good.
something to appreciate right
Yeah.
now instead.
Yeah.
Or I would like you to focus on positive thoughts. Or I would like you to
Mhm.
focus on checking in with how I'm feeling so
Yeah.
I can figure out how to pivot or think about really good ideas of how to feel better.
Yeah. Or think about what I really, really want.
That thank you mind technique is one we haven't talked about in a while,
Yeah,
but it's one of my favorites. I use it all the time.
it is.
I use it
Yeah.
all the time.
It's good. Yeah.
So if my mind starts thinking about, like, goes into the worry zone, which
Mhm.
all of us are guilty of at one point or another, right?
Right.
And I grew up being taught to think that way. So I still sometimes fall into that. And so when I do, I do thank you mind. And I say that in my head. I say thank
Yeah.
you mind because my mind is always trying to help me. Our minds are beautiful, wonderful things. They're always trying to help us.
They're trying to keep you safe. That's what your mind's job is, pretty much.
Yeah.
And it thinks that we're in trouble a lot more often than we really are,
Yes.
So,
And sometimes when,
yeah.
it's learned things that are not conducive to moving forward sometimes.
Yeah, we
in those
don't
directions.
always have to believe those thoughts that come into our head, because a lot of times they're
Junk.
BS. BS, to put it bluntly.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So that's like one of my favorites
Yeah.
is thank you, mind. I love and appreciate you, but I want you to focus on these things instead to help me.
Yeah.
Because your mind is trying to help you.
Yeah.
You just have to give it better ways to help.
Right. Yeah.
Honestly.
Guide it the way you want it to go.
It sounds silly. It works.
It does work.
Hands down. Every person that I've had try this, besides obviously myself and you,
Yeah.
is like, oh my gosh, it does. It does work. If you use it over and over and over again, you're training your mind of what is conducive, what works, what helps you, and it loves to help you. So why not give it a job, right?
Yeah.
Your mind is always running. Give it a job to do.
Yeah, for sure.
It loves that.
Yeah.
It loves that.
Yeah.
People say, do ego dumps or whatever. No, work with your mind. Your
Mhm.
mind is always running anyway. Why not have it run some programs that are useful?
Yeah. Yeah.
Am I right or am I right?
Right.
Okay.
You are right.
I'm never gonna get through this section. It's so good. Okay. So, all right. So you have the ability to regroup, refocus, and create differently the next time. We are conscious creators, whether we realize it or not. And so why not be that real conscious creator?
Yeah.
Why not be conscious of what we're creating, right? Pay attention.
Yeah.
It's a lot more fun that way. I can tell you from personal experience.
Yeah.
Yeah, creating by default, it's not as fun.
No. And
I did not enjoy
doesn't
it.
always work the way you want
It usually doesn't. That's the problem.
Yeah, it gets you into some sticky situations.
Yeah. I like the way we're living much better.
Yep.
Many people would explain that their fear was natural and assert that it was valid, as they point out the bad things that are happening in their lives or in the lives of others they care about. But the reason why people sometimes go from one negative experience to another is simply because when the first unwanted thing happens, they give it a great deal of their attention, which then creates the second, and so on. Creates momentum, right? Most people do offer the majority of their thoughts in response to the things in their life that they are observing. Some stubbornly ask, but how did the first negative thing come about? And our answer is everything that happens to you is but a byproduct of your consistent thoughts and feelings. Others often argue, but what about the little children? How is it that they could create something so negative in their experience? We want you to understand that even though a little child may not be speaking in words, at no time is that child not emitting a vibration that the law of attraction is responding to. All of you learn to offer your vibrations from the environment that surrounds you. Even while in your mother's womb, you were picking up vibrations from her and from her surroundings. But there is no reason to be unhappy about anything that has affected you previously, for you have complete power right here and now to choose improved feeling thoughts. And excuse me. And now that you understand the stream of life and that you can always tell by the way you feel whether you are pointed downstream toward the fulfillment of your desires or upstream in resistance to your desires, you will never again be negatively influenced without your knowledge. So basically, knowledge is power.
Right.
And empowering yourself to say, okay, what has happened to me before doesn't matter because I get to choose what happens to me now and going forward. I have a choice. And for me, those were some of the most powerful words that I ever heard. And those were some of the things that really changed the game for me is like, before it doesn't matter because my story going forward is one that I get to choose.
Yeah. Yeah.
And how empowering is that? For me, it's ultimately empowering.
Yeah, that's so true. And for anyone that's been through any kind of traumatic experience in their life, you have to move forward. You can't bring that with you everywhere you go,
Right.
And and I know that sounds dumb kind of or harder than it has to be. You have tools and you can find tools to help you release those things so that you can move forward and you can create the way you want to live, the things you want in your life.
Right.
And we talk about that every week, how to do that, how to create instead of hang on to what's in the past. So
right. And if there are things that you're carrying that are very difficult to release, think about this. So in the past, your story was, I can't find a way to let it go. It's still triggering me. All of these things are happening. Do you want to continue that story?
Right.
Or do you want to create a new story where you find the solutions, where you find things that work for you, where you find ways to finally release all of that stuff so that you can move forward without being triggered all the time?
Yeah.
You have a choice. You get to choose that new story, whether you want to continue the old one or begin a new one. And you can begin it right now.
Yeah.
At any given moment, you can decide to have something different.
Yeah.
And then begin to follow your guidance to it. And, that's speaking from personal experience.
Right.
We've all of us that are healers have worked through our own stuff with this so that we can help others who are going through the same thing. And trauma is one of those things.
Yeah. Yeah. And, if you start to do that and start to make your own story moving forward, you can, something might come up from your past, but it's not going to bring you back there anymore. You can think about it and it doesn't tie you to it anymore. You can move forward and you can forget about that. I mean, you'll always, you remember it probably, but it just doesn't trigger you anymore.
Right. You can release the emotional attachment. You
Yeah,
can release the
emotional
energetic
attachment,
attachments
that's what I was.
to those things so that you continue to move forward.
Yeah.
But it's really about deciding whether you
Yeah.
want to continue with the old story or you want to create a new one where the solutions begin to come
Right.
into your experience.
Yeah. Don't play the victim and stay in that. That's what victimizing is. You don't want to stay in that story because that is a hopeless situation. But you have the power to move forward and not let yourself be a victim of that. Yeah, something bad might have happened to you somewhere along the past line, but we can move forward and you can decide, okay, from now on, I'm going forward. I'm going to be who I want to be, not who whatever was happening back there that's holding me back. You can break free of that in a second if you want to.
Right. And one of the things is, people say, well, nothing has ever worked for me.
Yeah.
But that's your past story.
Right.
That is your past story. Your new story could be something like, there are solutions everywhere. I am finding things that work for me. I am healing from my past. I am healed and whole. And it is wonderful to be just me and to live the life that I want. One of the problems that people run into is they're talking about it here, how you're paying so much attention to what's happening right now that you're not looking downstream towards the things that you want.
Yeah.
You're saying, well, right now it still sucks. Yes. But are you focusing on the still sucks or are you focusing on what you do want?
Right.
Are you focusing on it's so wonderful that the solutions are on their way to me right now?
Yeah.
It feels so good to just be in this moment and not be in the past and not be in the future and just be right now. Those types of things can change your entire life
really
if you allow it.
Yeah.
But the story you're telling yourself now matters for creating your future, no matter what is happening right in this moment.
Yeah. Yeah. So always, when something comes up in your mind that kind of tries to pull you back, just think, oh, yeah, but I want this. I'm going to this now. I want to have a happier life. I want to go for a walk right now. That's going to help you feel. That's going to shift that energy. So anything you do to get yourself moving forward, even one little step is going to help you.
Right. Yeah. So it's like, you need to decide, are you going to continue the same story or are you going to continue this, or are you going to start a new story of healed and whole and feeling good and enjoying your life and having released all of the emotional attachments to negative past things. Like, what story are you going to choose for yourself?
Right. Yeah.
What story are you going to choose? And you get to choose. You can do either, honestly.
Yeah.
But once you make that decision, it's up to you to begin to follow your guidance towards where you've been asking to go.
Yeah. Yeah. For sure.
Floating downstream.
Yeah.
We have more. I'm right here on all of it. I'm talking too much.
My voice is cracking today.
I know,
too.
me too.
All of you understood when you made the decision to come forth into this body that you would be surrounded by a smorgasbord of thoughts. Oh, I love this part. And that some of them would be to your liking and some would not. But not one of you wished for a limiting of the environment into which you were being born. For you understood then, as you are coming to remember now, the power of your own guidance system and the value of the diversity from which you would make your choices. With a little practice, you will not only no longer fear your thoughts, but you will take delight in them. For there is not a more delicious moment than one in which you have directed your thoughts to harmonize with the broader perspective of your being. I love the word delicious.
I know, me too. It just makes me feel like,
Yeah.
oh, it's such a good word.
Yeah, it is. When you observe the people, places, and experiences of your world through the eyes of your inner being, they do not frighten you, they delight you. So begin where you are and reach for the relief of the better feeling thoughts. I'm not good at controlling my thoughts. I catch myself in the middle of unpleasant thoughts all day long. At times, though, I do contemplate very positive thoughts. I've noticed that positive topics expand in my mind also. I do see that the law of attraction is giving me more thoughts that are like my current active thought. I would choose more deliberately which thought I decide to make the active thought. I do know that when I know that what I don't want, I also know what I do want. I could learn more deliberately in a more positive direction. I could lean more deliberately in a more positive direction. There are many positive things happening in my life. I do know that there's more going on that's positive than negative. This must mean my thoughts are leaning more in the positive direction. It's not necessary for every thought I think to be perfectly positive. It isn't even possible to think only positive thoughts. And if you are, your head's probably in the sand, right? I mean, you have to face those other thoughts, but you don't have to hang on to them. That's the biggest lesson.
They can just be passing by.
Yeah, they're just going through. It isn't even possible to think only positive thoughts once again. Mm-hmm. My work is merely to lean in a positive direction. I think I'm doing that. I'm doing that much more so now than a few weeks ago. I'm directing my thoughts. Not only do I feel better these days, but things are turning out better for me. I now see that the evidence I'm looking for is an improved feeling rather than a changed condition. I also know that I consistently improved feeling will, sorry, I messed that up again. I also know that a consistently improved feeling will be the forerunner of an improved condition. I not only understood the process of creation, I'm effectively applying it. So you can change those feelings and consistently make the move to thinking better thoughts. And that's all you have to do. It doesn't have to be constant. Right. It doesn't have to be every single thought, because you can't control that part.
No, you're not going to control every single thought that comes through your head.
Right.
Some things are, popping up from your subconscious.
Yeah. Yeah.
And even your conscious mind is noticing this and noticing that and seeing this and seeing that. And I like that and I don't like that. And I like this and I like that and I don't like that. And it's going to be doing that all day long because that's what it does.
Yeah.
But what I like about the last piece that you just read is that Abraham literally took us up the emotional scale with those statements.
Yeah.
And so they took us from, I'm a little leery, my thoughts aren't great, to I am the conscious creator of my own thought process.
Yeah. Yeah. It's so good. And when you practice it, it just happens automatically after a while. You can feel it in your body going up that scale. Mm-hmm. When you're following those thought patterns and you're putting in better ones along the way. That's really all you have to do. Don't worry about, oh, I just had a bad thought, oh, I shouldn't have thought that. It's okay. Just replace that with a better one, or continue on with a better one.
Because the more thoughts you think about that are worrying about the thoughts that you've had, then you're creating more worry thoughts.
Then you have
and like
anxiety.
They're attaching to each other and creating more and more worry thoughts.
Right.
So it's better to just begin to notice that and gently move yourself towards better thoughts.
Yeah.
Whether it's just by starting to feel better and then going into the thoughts, or even just flipping your thoughts.
Yeah.
Whatever works best for you. I mean, it's about finding tools that work and practicing them.
Yeah, and finding tools that feel good to you so that you will use them over and over and over again.
That are easy. We have lots of easy tools.
Yeah.
We teach you guys all sorts of stuff that you can do in the moment. And that's the thing. We like it to be easy because why not?
Right.
Life should be easy and life should be fun. And why not have it be easy and fun?
Yeah. And if you have a hard time with this, set up an appointment with one of us, and you know, we can walk you through some steps and do a session with you so you can start to figure that out on your own. You know, that's why coaches are here, to coach you so that you can have a better life and so that you can start to use the tools, and so you can fire us as coaches and move on, because you can do it on your own. You know
how to apply it in your own life is huge.
Yeah, it is.
And also, like, what do I do in this situation? Well, let's try this and try that and give us, you know, there's a million different things. There's more solutions than you could ever even imagine available to you. And so why not come up with some of those together?
Right.
You know?
Yeah, it's so awesome to have a team of people that you can go to for different things and to learn them for yourself, because sadly we're not taught this in school. We're not taught this when we're younger, and a lot of us had to figure it out on our own when we're adults, and even older adults. You know, we didn't talk about that kind of stuff when we were younger, so thank God we learned. Learn new ways, and now people are learning it earlier.
Right, and that our emotions are important. If they tell us things, maybe we should pay attention and maybe talk about them sometimes.
Yeah, that might be a good idea.
What? What?
Yeah.
Imagine.
So good. Yeah. Yep. It's a wonderful world.
It is. And you know what? Statistically, it's getting better.
Yeah.
Little by little, increment by increment. And we, as a collective group, could always say, you know what? I love seeing things get better. And isn't it fun to watch things improve and get better and better for everyone? And isn't that a beautiful thing to watch happen?
Yeah.
Because we are consciously creating this experience together, right?
Right. And if we do that, it can create a tipping point in the world.
Right. What do we want?
Yeah.
We're so focused on what we don't want.
Right.
And what's happening right now in front of us.
Yes.
Rather than what it is that we do want.
Yeah.
So
focus on what you do want.
Consider that.
Yeah.
Consider it.
Yeah.
Remember, what you focus on expands.
Yeah. We focus on peace.
We do.
And love.
And feeling amazing and creating amazing lives for ourselves and everyone around us.
Yeah.
And everyone we meet, and making every experience better experience.
Yes.
For the whole.
Yeah.
So, and I mean, what a great way to focus on, like expanding the love and peace and excitement for life in the world.
Yeah. Yeah. How does it get better than that?
How does it get better than that? Let's find out.
Yeah. All right. So, Carissa, where can we find you on this wonderful world?
Well, if you want to find me, besides on YouTube at SoulSpace Podcast, you can find me on Facebook at Light of Hope Healing. You can find us collectively on Facebook at Our Soul Space on Facebook. So it's Our Soul Space.
Yeah.
You know, because, you know, you can't just have Soul Space because everybody's Soul Space. And then I have my square site on my Light of Hope Healing page on Facebook. And in case you wanted to check it out, you know, independently and like type all this in, it's light-of-hope-healing.square.site. Light of Hope Healing with a bunch of dashes in between, .square.site. Fun. It's also on my Google. So if you want to go to Google and go Light of Hope Healing in West Fargo, North Dakota, then that'll come up too.
Yeah.
I don't really have much on my Google besides that, but you know, it brings all that stuff up.
That's good. That's all you need.
Yeah. And then what's really fun is we have finally created an Instagram
Yes.
that where we're starting to post some of our shorts, and we have some short videos that we're starting to get on YouTube and Instagram. I think
Yeah,
we
we'll
have
be
one.
working on our Instagram. It's not, yeah, there's not much there right
But you
now.
can still visit it and follow
Yeah,
it.
yeah,
So
you
what's our
can follow
Instagram
us.
handle?
Yes, it is SoulSpace Coaches
SoulSpace
at
Coaches.
SoulSpace Coaches.
Coming at you on
Yeah,
Instagram.
yeah. So we'll be putting some fun stuff and memes up on there, little things, yeah.
So that'll be awesome.
Yeah.
And then Tracy, if people want to dig deeper into the things that you're doing right now, where can they find you?
I'm at inspiredsignals.com. All my links are there to all my favorite things and my pages, Inspired Signals on Facebook and Instagram, and Inspired Signals Studio on both. I have artsy stuff on my studio page. I don't know. I should just combine it into one thing, but not everyone likes both, so I do it separate. I mean, that's my life and all of it. So, but that gets a little overwhelming sometimes.
It does. So sometimes it helps people to maybe find one thing and go, "Ooh, I want more," and they find your other.
Yeah, yeah. So yeah, that's all for now. Some fun things coming up in the fall for both of us. We'll be doing some expos and vendor shows and artistic alchemy classes here, and we'll find some fun events to do once we get a schedule going again.
Oh yeah, and we have classes to teach and things to do and people to see. It's going to be amazing.
Yeah, so amazing. Anyway, we'll see you next week for another Visiting Our Shadows.
Yeah, we'll see you next week.
Okay, bye-bye.